I remember my early childhood when my parents started to teach me the importance of human qualities like generosity, empathy, selflessness, and simply caring for others. And inspired by the teachings of Baha'u'llah, one of the founders of the Baha'i faith, I always wanted to find a way to help ease the pain of the less fortunate. But a task like that seemed quite impossible for little version me. See, I just simply didn't know where to start, until something quite magical happened to me. I had just finished the first semester of 8th grade, and little me was a little bit burnt out. But I can remember that last semester was actually quite eye-opening for me. My friend Alyssa Gorkin and I had just taken a community service class, which took up a lot of our free time. I remember that night she asked me if I'd be interested in joining her in a new community service project. I remember the energy that rushed through me, and I responded urgently, "Yes, of course." Little did I know that one interaction in the 8th grade was going to transform the rest of my life. Later on, Alyssa and I spent weeks discussing what kind of project we were going to do. You see, we didn't want to do just simple acts of service. We wanted to make sure that we were really impacting the lives of those in need. We began to research some issues and find out where we could get involved. And we found that the poverty rate in Colorado was slowly increasing. With that, we decided we were going to start a hygiene distribution program for the homeless right here in Denver. We named our project, soon to be nonprofit endeavor, Helping the Homeless Colorado. Now, our new dream project required a lot of time to create structure and means in which we were going to execute our vision. But it was so important to us because we wanted to make sure that we were able to execute our mission and get a younger generation involved in doing so. But creating a nonprofit of this magnitude required a lot of guidance, an element that was truly difficult to find for an 8th grader. I remember watching countless YouTube videos on how to file tax forms, staying after school talking to my teachers on how to write an email professionally, or even searching the web for marketing strategies and how to allocate funds properly. But for the most part, I think that Alyssa and I were able to overcome these challenges because we never really dwelled on our shortcomings. In a sense, we always took the attitude that we're going to do the best that we can. But the most daunting challenge that we faced, and still continue to face, is the lack of confidence our society has in the capability of youth. You see, Alyssa and I have viewed how countless opportunities for service are completely wasted because of passive attitudes we have towards our youth. Age is becoming an excuse for indifference. But I can recognize the fuel that propelled Helping the Homeless Colorado was indeed that passion for service that my parents had introduced to me. You see, Alyssa and I took the challenges that we faced and viewed them as an opportunity to change the way our society views the role of youth. We engaged our peers and created an endeavor that aimed to help the homeless every Saturday for just 2 hours. A group of teens, boxes full of toiletries, and a trunk full of meals. But as the months went by, our service began to transform more. We began to research the issue and find the root of the problem and how we can address it. We engaged in conversations with hundreds of homeless individuals and used their experience to propel the means in which we supported them. And throughout this growth, I can say that Helping the Homeless Colorado has transformed to become a powerful nonprofit that confronts both homelessness and poverty in both short and long-term approaches. Our team began to design pillars in which our organization will function: advocate, educate, and alleviate. Each pillar uniquely addresses the needs of the homeless population. Through advocacy, we expand our support by being an active participant on the political level. Through education, we engage in conversation with hundreds of members of the public and challenge the stereotypes that currently surround homelessness. And through alleviate, we provide direct resources to the homeless population in our scholarship awards program. And by spreading awareness, we found that we're able to inspire other youth to start ventures of their own. And what I've learned throughout all of this is to truly admire a homeless individual. Their growth from hardship, their hope and will for a better tomorrow is truly inspiring, and it changes the way that I view the world. Never be fooled by what you see on the outside, because on the inside, often hold a different story. We live in a world full of responsibilities and expectations, and because of this, we are becoming vaccinated against human suffering. Too accustomed to see a homeless person and simply ignore their plight. And I'm willing to bet that almost everybody, including myself, has ignored a homeless person at least once in their lives. We often refrain from making eye contact with them and continue what we're doing. and convince ourselves that we really can't help them. We're so comfortable with saying that they are a lost cause, the so-called defect of society. But what we fail to see as a society is that these are humans too. People that are often afraid of being arrested, attacked, or even robbed. That when the sun goes down, they truly have no place to go. And the only thing that separates us from them is this materialistic thing that is supposed to be a sanctuary for everyone, a home. And for some reason, as a society, it is so unacceptable for us to recognize this. We seem to blame them entirely for their situation, that they're the problem, they did this to themselves, and that kind of suffering could never happen to us. But have we ever stopped and thought maybe we are at fault too as a society? That our mindset is contributing to this deteriorating system? We are so consumed on placing responsibility on them, we can't seem to take a step back and realize that we have a system right now that currently imprisons people for not having a home. Our self-centered society cannot seem to grasp the idea that maybe we are at fault too. And by turning our backs on them, we're hindering our society's ability to move forward together. So to my fellow youth, your voice matters, your opinions matter, and your efforts matter. Being a change maker was never about changing the world on your own. To me, a change maker is a leader who exploits their vision and ideas, while using that urgency in their voice to then galvanize other souls into action. Our world can never be better with just the efforts of the few. It is the belief and will for a better tomorrow that touches the hearts of all people and formulates a movement that then changes our world. So, our future asks of you to be an active participant in your community, your state, even your nation. Contribute to the resolution of the ills that currently affect our society and understand the power of your voice. Humankind needs you and what you have to contribute. The best way to implement change is to create it. The teachings of the high faith take pride in the idea that the happiness and greatness, the pleasure and peace of an individual has never consisted in his personal wealth, but rather his excellent character, his high resolve, the breadth of his learning, and his ability to solve difficult problems. So no matter your age, your gender, your race, your sexuality, or anything of that matter, make it your responsibility to contribute something positive to the world that we live in. Passion is what will drive your vision into success.